Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Elite Question and Answer Hangout that we've got for you this evening. So whether you've been an Elite member for a while or whether you're new, we're going to have some really good information for you tonight from some experienced Elite members. So I hope you really enjoy it. Elite gives you the opportunity to turn up your profits and make a lot more money. Hitesh released some information a few days ago. I don't know whether you saw it, but it showed that Elite members. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Elite Question and Answer Hangout that we've got for you this evening. And everybody mute themselves or turn off the player. Okay, there we are. Yeah, Elite members are making, on average, about 8.3 times more money on their listings after cashback in their sales fulfilled, and he's been able to monitor this through the listings integration software. So it really does pay to get onto Elite as soon as possible. So I'm hoping that some of our experienced Elite guys here tonight will share with you how they're doing and whether they can justify that kind of money. It really is the next step up from pro. So we're going to ask you to put some questions, if you have any, in the box below the where the video is playing, and we'll try and pick them up as we go along. I've got a few already here that I'm going to ask people. So the first person I'm going to go to is Obi-Wan Cassini down there, looking very fetching in her headset.
Has to keep her hair back.
She's the wild woman of Borneo here, but she's just had a haircut, I noticed.
Yeah, I still look a bit dishevelled lion though. Doesn't help.
No, you're good. Oberon, can you just share with our members how long you've been with DSD and when you decided to upgrade to Elite and how you're finding it?
Well, I joined DSD last November. Excuse me. I went up to Elite, I believe, within a couple of months because I'd proved the concept to myself with the Pro. It was obviously going to work. So it makes sense to, if you find something that's working, you just step it up. You'd carry on doing what you're doing, but you just, you step it up, which is essentially what Elite is. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I tend to use more Elite suppliers than anything nowadays. I mean, obviously, I'm still going to go back to Amazon, but 9 times out of 10, I will use the Elite suppliers over Amazon where I can. It's to me, it just makes more sense. I mean, for a start, you're paying for Elite, so why not use it? But excuse me, a lot of the suppliers are out there. I mean, obviously we all know there's a lot of products on Amazon, but when you add on all those Elite suppliers, then you're multiplying it by millions. So it's it just gives you so much more scope.
Are you using suppliers predominantly in the US or UK?
I would say at the moment it's probably 75-25 US to UK, because as everybody knows, I'm gearing up to go and live in the States, so the visa people want to see a lot of activity in the States. But I do keep my hand in by listing from the UK suppliers, which is nice. And
did you find it a bit scary stepping over to using the new suppliers?
Well, I did the videos for a couple of them that are up in the training, but I found that they're mostly very easy to use. That they're other companies that maybe excuse me, a bit of a cold coming on. I have found that certainly the couple that I talk about in the training, World Stores and Factory Shop, they're very, very easy going when it comes to customer support, and they've got very good shipping rates as well, and sometimes they can be better than Amazon on the shipping rates. So yeah, I found them very easy to use, certainly. There's nothing stopping you. If you've got Elite and you're not using it, you want to tell yourself, well, just crack on and get it done, because it's no different. It's just using different suppliers.
Yeah. So people shouldn't be scared of, dipping their toe in the water and getting started. Yeah.
No, not at all. I mean, if you're worried about a supplier, I mean, obviously we've all, the suppliers have been tested. They don't just get thrown up there on a whim. They've all been tested. But if you're not quite sure, just place one order, or, just place a small order, have it sent to your own home, just to test it for yourself to start with, if you're nervous about using a supplier, just to put your own mind at rest.
Yeah.
But obviously they have all been tested by myself, by others on the panel, by others, in DSD. They're not just sort of a random name.
No, that's great. Thanks very much. I'll come back to you again in a while, if I may. I'd like to go to Chris, who's joined us on the panel tonight. Chris, I know you've been ramping up your DSD business quite successfully. Can you share with us how you got to Elite and how quickly you went there and how you're finding it?
I went to Elite after 3 weeks, basically.
Oh, wow.
I got stuck into the pro training, got several listings up, and basically I got to the point where I thought, well, I know this, and I wanted to grow as quickly as possible. So, while I would say to anybody, make sure you know the training before you move on, there's a definite progression. There's a lot more money in Elite as well, with the cash back that you can get there. And really, so long as you work 1 or 2 suppliers at a time, it's pretty easy to work out as well. I mean, it's obviously different to Amazon, but every supplier is different. So, but no, that's it really. I mean, as soon as you get into Elite, the money goes up quite significantly as well.
Is that because you're looking at higher priced products?
I think there's more profit margin in the products, because generally you'll get a better price on the same product. Normally, if you find something on Amazon, chances are you'll be able to use an Elite supplier and get it at a cheaper rate, as well as being able to use the cashback techniques that are taught in Elite as well, to make sure you're earning extra on those sales. And also you're listing things that aren't always available on Amazon at a good price by Amazon themselves.
Right.
So you're at an advantage from all angles, really. Because you can still use Amazon at the same time. If they're beneficial, you use them, but you're not tied.
And what percentage are you doing US based, compared to UK?
US. I was doing a lot in the UK. To be honest, I haven't listed any UK stuff recently at all. So I'm probably 90%, 10% US now.
Great.
It's mostly US. So I haven't actually tried a lot of the suppliers that Obi's talking about. I should give it a crack, really.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much over in the US full time now.
And what sort of challenges did you find when you first went there? You made a big leap going to Elite after just 3 weeks. Did you find it a bit sort of, oh my goodness, what am I doing here?
Yeah, it took a little while to be able to comfortably, list from all of the different suppliers, because they've all got different tax rates and they all ship in different ways and they all price everything differently. So I just found that working with 1 or 2, get a few listings up, see how they work out, and then spread out to try a couple of the others. Yeah, it is a bit of a step, but once you've got 20, 30, 40 listings up on Pro, you kind of know exactly what you're doing there. And for me, I just felt it's time to progress a bit, really. But you know me, I've gone straight through the lot. So.
Okay, so for somebody who wants to, who's got a real passion and wants to get DSD cracked, you can go fast, and it's quite a good idea to go fast. Would you say?
I think so. Yeah, I definitely think it's the way to go. I think the hardest thing in DSD is listing, and personally, I find it really hard to force myself to list. I found that the hardest thing.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just a case of, well, make enough money out of pro to get my fees for Elite, and then for me from Elite, it was make enough money to get into Unleashed, and I'll work through the system that way. But certainly, even when you get up into, say, Monopoly, you use all of the Elite suppliers, so it's never something that you can skip over. It's the basis.
Yeah, so you're really just using the experience you got in Pro,
yeah,
in Elite as well. So there's like, there are few new different things you need to learn, but basically it's just a repeat of what you've learned.
Yeah. I see Pro as being kind of the basis of listing and the basis of being able to go through that dropshipping routine, and then Elite is more about expanding on that and using it to your advantage. Okay, so you know how to do a bit of dropshipping. Let's earn some more money from it and be able to, compete between different suppliers and get better prices. It's a more professional business approach to the whole thing. It definitely, as far as eBay goes, it's just putting you to the advantage of the time. I hope that doesn't seem confusing.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. I'll come back to you again as well, if I may. Let's go to Sasha. Oh, wait a minute. Can I just ask Susie if we've got any questions yet?
Not really questions as yet, no. So if anybody's got any questions, now's Elite questions. Now is the time to ask them. There's one thing that Gail's written, which says, I ordered from Furniture 123, Furniture Direct. They were not the best Elite supplier, as the delivery went from 3 to 5 days to the 11th of December. Standard delivery 2 to 3 working days. Ended up giving a refund. So Furniture Direct, I didn't know they were in the Elite section actually.
Anybody else got any experience with them?
Yeah, they are in the Elite, and it was one of the ones that a lot of us stopped dealing with. Customer service wasn't that brilliant.
Okay, so you need to be very wary with that, guys. Delivery is, just...
Was it Furniture? Hang on a second, Chris. It was Furniture Direct, wasn't it? Was that the
Furniture and Fashion?
Furniture and Fashion. Sorry, yeah, I'm wrong. So no, Furniture Direct is not in Elite.
No,
unless it's a UK one.
No, I haven't seen it in Elite.
No.
Gail, perhaps you want to tell us whether that's actually in the DSD system or not. But I didn't recognise the name. Furniture and Fashion, yes, but not that one.
Okay, well...
But currently, no other questions at this stage.
Okay, let's move over then and have a word with Sasha, who has been... I can't remember how long you've been doing it, Sasha, so why don't you let us know how you're getting on with it?
Okay, well, I started DSD in February and then moved on to Elite just like Chris after about 3 weeks. People said, you're doing the same amount of work, but you're earning more money for it, so it just made a lot more sense. I was earning enough in Pro to cover my fees, and that's really how I've sort of carried on, always making sure I've got enough to cover my fees and then move on to the next level. With Elite, one of the things I think, if I can give any advice, is I was expecting everything to sort of turn up right from the beginning. There's a lot of training in there, and I think you need to take a lot of time over doing the training and not miss too much out. And I rushed through it. I expected by just listing higher profit items that my eBay account was just going to take off. And what I stopped doing was listing some of the pro stuff and some of my hot items, which were keeping my eBay account going. And that was a mistake. And to keep that balance is really important, to keep that activity within your account. Don't just suddenly go to Elite, ignore all your little ones and move on to the big stuff. That doesn't work.
Okay, so what about the cashback sites? Which ones are you using?
I use topcashpack.com, which is available in the UK as well. And I use Be Frugal. And those are my two main, and I managed to get probably the best deals through those. My main site that I use is so main supplier is Overstock for me. I found Overstock brilliant. Yes, you've got to use a US locked card, and we can go through that in a minute. But there are so many, so much you can get back on Overstock that the profit margins go up. They're always sending you 10% coupons off, 15% coupons off. I have had one issue with Overstock on a delivery, and when I mentioned it to them, I immediately got a $30 credit. So, you know, they're a really good supplier for me to use.
Good customer services by the sound of it.
Yeah, and Overstock is brilliant sort of moving forward when you're using, going forward with Unleashed and Monopoly and things like that. So, yeah, a really good supplier.
So, are you mainly US or are you doing some UK as well?
I've kept my UK items that were my hot items from the beginning, really, when I first started listing, and everything else new is US, so probably 95.5.
Wow, that's yeah. You are mainly on the US, aren't you?
I am. I think it's because I started Elite way before we had all the extra UK suppliers, and because I'm quite happy with them and getting good results, I didn't really feel the need to move over to any of the UK suppliers. But lookfantastic.com as a UK supplier is a good supplier, really good speedy service, and a company that I've used prior to dropshipping anyway, so I had experience of them. So and they're giving you something you're not getting in the other suppliers. It's nice to have the beauty side of things. So
yeah, that's good. Obi, can I come back to you for a sec, Flower?
Meryl, hold on 1 second. There is a question here that I think everybody could answer.
Okay.
Well, there's a couple of questions at the moment, but this particular one, first of all, how do you monitor stock levels? And following on from that question is, what do you set your profit margin to for Elite US suppliers to cover taxes, currency, conversion, and fees? And that's from Emma.
Okay, Obi, do you want to take that one?
Well, I'll take the fees one first. I put on 20 to 25%, depending on how generous I'm feeling, and I find that 9 times out of 10 that will cover absolutely everything, from sales tax and the conversion rate. But I have a merchant rate on my PayPal account, so I can get away with the 20% because I get a discount on my PayPal fees because of the volume I put through. So as soon as you start doing large amounts, it's worth getting hold of PayPal and asking them if you qualify for the merchant rate, which is just cheaper because you're putting through so much money. What was the other question? Sorry.
About stock levels, I think. How do you monitor stock levels?
Well, again, if you were going to be using every single supplier in Elite, it'd probably be a full-time job to keep an eye on the stock levels. Obviously, if you're listing in the US, then you do have the listing integration tool that works with Amazon, Walmart, and Overstock. Personally, I mean, Walmart is my favourite Elite supplier ever. I absolutely love it. The customer service is brilliant. And obviously they're on listing integration. But again, they've got this basket system that we tend to cover a lot in the pro trainings, which is where you add your items to the store's basket and then either save for later or keep it in the basket, depending on how many you've got. And then every now and again you log in, and Amazon will tell you straight away the following items have changed in your basket. There they are. With Walmart, they've got a save for later, so you can go through and you can quickly scan through to see if anything's gone out of stock. Some of the other suppliers I'm not quite sure about because I don't use them very often. But again, if they've got a basket system, that's a good way of keeping track of everything. Obviously, I use a spreadsheet for all my listings, so I know where I get stuff from. But if you're talking about price fluctuations and out of stock situations, then if they're not in the listing integration tool at the moment, then the best way I find is always to add them to the store's basket, and then once a day log into that site, have a quick scan of the basket, and crack on with your day, basically.
Right.
I hope that answers that question.
Chris, same question to you. Do you do anything differently?
I think probably Obi's got that right there. I outsource my stock checking basically, so I haven't dealt with it for a few months. No, basically I've outsourced that and I pay someone to check my listings. But what I did used to do is I used to check the top 10 most watched a couple of times a day. So I go to the top 10 items that are most watched in eBay and check those, because quite honestly they were the most likely to sell. That saved me a lot of problems. Obviously everything needs checking regularly, but I found that saved me so much just checking those top 10.
What about the percentage? Do you put on 20 to 25% for fees and things?
Yeah, I found it's a bit different for each supplier. I mean, I do a lot through Kmart in Elite, and I just find that I get so many discounts and bits and pieces that I really only ever need to try and break slightly over even to be able to make a profit on that.
Right.
So I'd probably allow 17%. You know that's to cover everything plus, and then there's whatever profit you want from that. And I always want a minimum of 10% profit at the bare minimum.
How much? 10%?
10% minimum profit. Yeah, it is. If I'm making less than 10% on a listing, I won't necessarily take the listing down, but I'll just put the price up regardless of the effect that that's going to have. I just don't see it. But yeah, I find every supplier is completely different with regards to pricing. There's cash back with the suppliers. As I say, with Kmart, I've put 2 orders through with Kmart today that I've had absolutely free of charge. I haven't even had to pay for the order. It's all come out of it. So,
do you use any other cashback sites other than Top Cashback and Be Frugal?
Top Cashback, Be Frugal, and Ebates.
Ebate. Okay.
Yeah. I hope I was allowed to mention that. And yeah, sorry. And I basically, checked between the 3 and see who's best rating at the time. Especially the last 2 days, some of them are up to like 8 or 9% cashback. So.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay, Gail says she uses Quidco, which she finds brilliant, and but she does shop around between them all to find which has the highest discount. While we're on the US suppliers, there's another question. What problems are there with the time difference phone calls on delivery? That's with the US.
I've never made a phone call yet.
I think if you use Walmart, for instance, depending on the item, sometimes their drivers want to call you.
But I'm not listing really large furniture items or anything like that, heavy freight items, so I actually haven't made a phone call since I started.
Obi, you're using Walmart, aren't you?
Sorry?
Sorry, Obi said she was using Walmart a lot.
Yeah, I like Walmart. I have to say again, never made a phone call. If I've had to contact them, I've done it via their email system. They've got back to me pretty much straight away and sorted out any issues I've had straight away. If it's a return or if it's a refund, there's never been a problem with it. I haven't had to call the US at all. Obviously, if you do need to call them, then you've got there's training on Skype in the Elite training to help you get over that, getting a US number and what have you. But I've never had to use it for the suppliers. They've certainly Walmart are one of the easiest ones to deal with. They're happy to communicate with you over email, and they're really quick.
I think, Tony, the answer to that is I think the majority of us avoid freight items, so we don't get calls in the middle of the night from a delivery driver, and we don't ever have to contact them regarding issues anyway. So I hope that kind of answers the question.
If I can jump on that one quickly, freight from Walmart, you tend to get a phone call the day before delivery. The freight office will phone you up to arrange a convenient time. But again, they'll leave a message if you're not available. So I have a US phone number on my Skype account, which forwards to my mobile phone. and they will phone that. But if you miss a call, you'll get a message and you phone them back at your convenience through Skype. So there really isn't a problem. There isn't any call that you can't afford not to miss, to be honest, on deliveries.
No.
No.
Great. Anything else, Susie?
Yes, I'm again from Tony. I'm having huge problems with Costco going out of stock and difficult to monitor. UK suppliers are not plentiful. Will there be more? Well, I can tell you right now about the more UK suppliers. We're working on that at the moment on the forum, so you're more than welcome to join in on that. There's a whole topic on that. So, yes, huge problems with Costco going out of stock.
I stopped using Costco. I was having a few stocking, but then once I stopped using the ones in the UK anyway, it wasn't really a problem. But it was one of the ones I started out with right at the beginning, both Costco and Macro, and they did tend to go out of stock quite quickly. So just on the tracking side of things, something I use is Google Chrome bookmarks to track my all my suppliers that are outside of listing integration. And I find that works really, really well, really, really quickly. I haven't got to a stage where I need to outsource yet, but I will do soon. But at the moment, the Google Chrome bookmarks works for me really quickly, and I can do that on my mobile, my iPad, and my laptop.
Wow, that's good. Excellent.
I will put. What I'll do is with the Google Chrome bookmarks, I'll put a link in the forum on that, and this is the process.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best way of using it.
Okay. Anybody else have a problem with Costco?
I've got some feedback I can give you on Costco because I've used I've put hundreds of orders through Costco. Costco mainly drop ship themselves direct from either the manufacturer or distributor, which is why there can be stock issues. But it's completely dependent on what product it is. So there are some products that are really reliable and you can judge how they're performing. But rather than judging Costco as a site, each product's going to react completely differently. So I'd have certain things listed and they'd be going in and out of stock all the time, so I'd dump the listing. And there's certain things that I know, you need to keep an eye on, but they're 99% reliable. So I certainly wouldn't prejudge Costco as a supplier. I think they've been great, but there are certain products that I wouldn't touch with a barge pole.
Okay, great. Yes. Oh, she's gone for a minute. That's okay. Sasha, you mentioned something earlier about the payment systems. Did you want to cover those?
What about using US Unlocked and Payoneer? Well, when you go back to Walmart, that's one of the easiest ones to use because you can use PayPal. So if you're getting paid in US dollars, you could be paying Walmart in US dollars, which makes life easy. With Overstock, you will need to use a US Unlocked card, and there is a link in the forum explaining exactly what the process is for that. Chris helped me with that one way back, and though it is a little bit expensive, again you're making such good profits anyway that it just it isn't really an issue in the end. I transfer $300 a time or so, and what you can do is you transfer from PayPal into a US Unlocked card, and that normally takes me about 24 hours to do so. So I wait until I actually get an order and then put a big bulk over. But I don't know if Chris does it any differently.
Do you want to jump on there, Chris?
Do I? I generally put up my processing time, so I know I've got time to transfer some funds over. Unless there's plenty of funds available, and then obviously I'll load it up. But to be honest, I don't really use Overstock and Sam's Club a great deal. Most of the suppliers I pay with Payoneer or PayPal.
Okay, so the other one people need is a Payoneer card, yeah?
Payoneer I find is really, really handy. Yeah, the fees are a lot lower, and you can basically use it. It's a US card, but it's registered to a UK address. So there are certain, Overstock and Sam's Club you need to have a US billing address, so you can't use it with that. Although I have snuck an order through Sam's Club without them noticing. But yeah, for most suppliers, you can use Payoneer or PayPal.
Right. Is that your experience, Sasha? Anything to add there?
Yeah, no, yeah, Payoneer is good. I mean, the reason I got US Unlocked as well is that I use suppliers that are in Unleashed, and some of those you need the US Unlocked. So again, it's just as long as I've got it within my profit margin, so I'm still making a profit, it's not a problem. I just make sure I've got availability in Payoneer as well. But and your normal credit card, your ordinary card, with the card that I have, which is through Nationwide, they don't charge you for exchange any exchange fees. So that is something to check in your terms and conditions on your UK card, whether you do get charged or not. But I don't.
Okay, brilliant. Any more questions, Susie?
Give me 1 second, I'm just scrolling through. No more questions at the moment, other than Tony saying PayPal or Payoneer, which I think you guys have just answered.
Yeah. Sasha, is there any questions you want to ask? Have you come across any challenges recently that you...
What, with Elite?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm just thinking if you want to get the bigger picture going forward, and you're going to want to start drop shipping on Amazon, then you need to go through Elite, because it's not just the suppliers, it's the training, the ranking, and all that you'll learn in Elite will pay you dividends. So I just don't want to get the message across it's all about suppliers. There's a lot of information as far as ranking your items, searching for items that you wouldn't know via Pro. And the Elite webinars that Roger does, I mean, there's about, I don't know, 15 or so sitting in your back office ready to go on top of all the modules, and there's so much information that Roger gives out on those Elite webinars. So once you, well, I mean, everybody that's on this Hangout is already in Elite, otherwise they wouldn't be there. So really, just just make sure you do go through those webinars.
Okay.
Can I just add to that?
Yeah.
I know I'm not supposed to be on the panel, but hey, I'm here just to do the questions, really. But it's just based on what Sash was saying there. With Elite, it isn't, like she says, it's not just about the suppliers and the other things that she mentioned there. The biggest thing that I've learned through going through Elite, especially, is ranking, not just on eBay, but the whole process of going through Elite and the other levels has set me up for Genesis, totally, because I was rubbish with keywords prior to all of this. There is no way I could have gone into Genesis and done the keywords that I need to do in Genesis. And if you're in this business to move through the steps and eventually move onto Amazon and Genesis, then this is, you going through the other levels. If you don't know what you're doing, then they are really, really important for you to go through those, because you will learn so much that's just going to set you off perfectly for Genesis and Amazon. I just think it's a brilliant system.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. The systems in DSD are so that you can do, it's a stepping stone. It's baby steps, and then you get up to the next level, and then you learn a bit more, and then you feel more confident going forward. Susie, can I just ask you to talk a bit about the forum and what people can, do in there that they're not doing at the moment, maybe, on Elite?
I'm not supposed to be on this Hangout. I was just going through the questions again.
Jumped in. I thought
the forum. Well, again, it's purely for Elite members. There's a different area on there which the guys on this call tonight, everybody on this call would have got an email. I just love the forum because we can separate it all, but it's all on the same page, basically. You don't have to jump from one group to the next group to the next group and then post in one and you've forgotten that you've actually posted in the wrong group. And everything is just there, and people can go there and look up stuff. You can search really easily. So yeah, I just really like the forum for that reason. we're all there to help everybody, and questions can be answered there really well. All I would say is just if you're in the UK group as well, then after posting your question, just copy the URL, paste it into the group, and just ask somebody in Elite to go and answer it for you, and we can get your questions answered there as well.
Yeah, loads of great information in the forum, guys. Highly recommend it.
That's right. And the other thing is, right now we're trying to put together some additional suppliers. So there's a topic in there where you can add different suppliers in there, ready for us to check. We've got a whole group of people ready and waiting to go on checking out some more suppliers, but they need to be vetted first.
Yeah, we're all here to help each other. You know, whatever level you're at, somebody's always willing to help. So before we finish, Chris, any tips that you can offer to people? What that might help them get going on Elite if they haven't already?
I think you just need to get stuck into it, to be honest, and don't be scared of moving away from Amazon. As Roger says in all of his videos, really, I don't think there's any step within the DSD system that you can skip. It's not even worth trying to skip any point, because it's got absolute value that you will need at higher levels of what you're doing. Yeah, just get on and do it. And I'd say the same thing for anyone that was in Pro. You just got to get on and do it, gain that knowledge, and move forward. Ultimately, there's people in groups, there's people in the forum that can help you out with anything you're going to come across. You just got to get stuck in.
Thank you. Great. Sasha, any tips?
No, just echo what Chris said, and just a reminder again of making sure you don't forget your Pro items, and and get stuck in. Okay, so we're not going to drag this hangout on for much longer, because...
Okay, there is another question.
Okay, stop me in full flow.
Sorry.
Go on.
I was worried you were going to cut everybody off there.
I can't.
How do you deal with customers who get angry when they realise the item has been shipped from Walmart? There have been several occasions when this happened. I would imagine that's a question for Obi, but she's not there at the moment.
Never had it. Never, ever had it.
Never had it.
No. No.
I haven't had it. I mean, they're not one of my main suppliers, but in the times I've used Walmart, I've never had a problem.
If you did, what would your response be?
Over to you, Chris. I've got my response. Like, if you want to go.
I think it would probably... I mean, I have had it with Kmart a couple of times because I've put so many orders to them. And my response generally would be that maybe we had a damaged item in stock, and rather than let the order down, we'd actually found it for a good price at Walmart, and we'd shipped it from there. Basically to not have a problem with the order. But as per the training, I would always refund the profits if that would solve the problem. To be honest, it doesn't happen. I think it's a fear that you can have that's never going to arise, really. I've had it happen with Kmart, but I've actually priced myself so I'm cheaper than Kmart are, including their shipping price. So if that ever arises from there, I'm actually cheaper than they're selling it for. So what does it matter? No, you're actually buying it through them cheaper than you're buying it through them. So yeah, with Walmart, I just think you need to be creative if you come. The same with anything, you need to be a bit creative if you come across any issue. But there isn't. I've never had it. Never ever had it. The only time I have is when something's gone out priced accidentally. And if something goes out priced, all you can do is apologise, because regardless of where it's come from, if it's gone out priced, it doesn't look good.
Right.
I have had it just twice, I think, in the whole time I've been using it, and one was just very recently. It wasn't with Walmart, it was with another supplier that has exactly the same with Amazon, that you've got a little gift box. This particular supplier has a gift box. I just forgot to tick it, They realised it came from there. I explained that I had lots of different suppliers I use worldwide. I explained what I do, and she said thanks for the explanation, and I got a positive feedback. So it really wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
Also, I just to add to that, there was in one of the trainings. It wasn't Roger that said it. It was when he had somebody else on. I can't remember who it was now. But what they said, I thought was superb. And what they tell their customer is about all the fees. You know, they have eBay costs, eBay fees. They have PayPal fees. They have all their costs that are involved in it, and that's why their prices are set at the price that they are. Because you know, if you send something from Walmart that's so much cheaper, and they see that, and blah de blah. At the end of the day, you've got all your costs to cover, and a lot of customers don't realise that. They think if it costs like $100 from Walmart, and you've charged them 150 or whatever, you know, they don't see that actually you don't get 150.
No, that's exactly what I did, Susie. I broke it down exactly, and they saw what profit it was, and they took the explanation. We're very happy. So sometimes just being honest works well for me. I don't like to say too much that isn't honest.
Maybe we can pose the same question to Obi. Glad you got back, Flower. This is: have you had any angry customer from Walmart because they've got it in a Walmart box and it's cheaper?
No, not angry exactly, but I have had somebody who came back to me and said, there's a problem with this item. It wasn't the same size as I was expecting, despite the fact that the item had dimensions in the listing. But he said, it's coming in a Walmart box, so do you want me to just drop it off back to Walmart? So he wasn't upset that it come from Walmart, but he was like, do you just want me to drop it off back there? And I'm like, no. So, but I mean, I haven't, to be honest with you though, I have had British customers who have mentioned that, they're not happy about price. And my approach is, especially when they say, I'm going to return this to you for a full refund, including shipping, because I can go and buy it cheaper on Amazon, I've said, that's absolutely fine. Just bear in mind, obviously, that because it's not faulty, you will be paying the return shipping. That's eBay policy. And obviously, because this is done through eBay, which is why it's imperative you must always communicate with buyers through eBay. eBay can see this as well. And so if they start to sort of say things like, I'm going to leave you bad feedback, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, eBay does not like that, and they can see it, and they can also see that it's nothing to do with the item, that they can see it's to do with the price they paid. And I have to say, eBay have been pretty good about backing me up and saying to the customer, you were happy enough to pay that price when you hit the buy it now button, so what do you want this particular seller to do? I can't take my groceries back to Asda and say, I found them cheaper at Lidl's. Can I have a refund, please?
Brilliant.
Not without security being called and some very interesting situations ensuing. So that's the way I deal with that. And like I said, I've not had a problem. And if somebody does want to return it, I've said, yeah, that's no problem. Just bear in mind it will be at your own cost because the item is not faulty, as you have clearly stated in your message. And every single time they've gone, oh, all right then.
Okay.
So and especially and then eBay, and I've called eBay afterwards and said this has happened. What's your advice? And they've said, no, that's right. If it's not faulty, it's at your. If you want to have the return, it's at your discretion, and they will. Buyer will pay the return costs. If we're talking about something heavy, then 9 times out of 10 they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm with you 100% there, Obi. I do exactly the same.
I'm running a business, not a daycare.
Exactly. I've got the same attitude towards it. At the end of the day, they chose to hit the buy button. If they've now found out that they could have got it cheaper elsewhere, well, I'm sorry, but I did all the research. I found it.
Yeah.
You chose to buy it from me on eBay. And I do the same as well. I will phone eBay just to make sure that eBay are on my side. And eBay like nothing more than for you to give them a quick call to ask for their advice. They love you if you do that, because you know, you're showing willing to sort out any problems. So always give eBay a call and say, look, this is the issue, and 9 times out of 10 they'll actually be on your side, especially when it comes down to price.
Yeah, right.
And especially if that particular customer has stated so in an eBay message, which again is why I say always get hold of them through the eBay system, because then eBay, and especially when you turn around to the customer and say, by the way, eBay can see all of this, and then they go, oh my goodness, oh dear. So yeah, especially if they've said it in a message, then you've got them banged to rights, really. Without being harsh, obviously, if the item's faulty, then you have to deal with that. But if it's just a price issue, then jog on.
Yeah.
And also, that's another really good reason to, whenever you're contacting a buyer, or a buyer's contacted you and you're replying to them, always be as polite as you can to the customer, because eBay can see those messages. And if the buyer's giving you grief and you're doing nothing but being nice, eBay are going to see that.
Yeah. Really good point. Any other questions, Susie? Susie? Hello?
Sorry, I muted myself then because I had to refresh, and then the video starts playing, and yeah, just scrolling.
Obi, I know you had to hop off for a while. I was just asking the others if they had any final tips or tricks that you'd like to share with us that we haven't discussed.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously, everybody here knows I call a spade, and my tips would be pretty much like, okay, you've gone elite now. It's a business, not a hobby. You need to start treating it as a business. So you need to get yourself organised. So use the spreadsheets. Keep an eye on your business every day, touch it every day. If you've only just upgraded to elite, you're going to be like a kid on Christmas with all these suppliers in there. Don't get crazy about it. Just treat it like a business. Do your due diligence. If you're not sure about a supplier, ask, because we're all here to help. And just take it steady and enjoy the ride, basically. And we're all here to help if necessary. So just bob us a question if you're unsure. But yeah, when you're hitting elite status, you need to be starting to treat it like a business. So you need to be record keeping your accounts, and doing your spreadsheet so you know where your suppliers are coming from, because now you've got more than one. And just and treat it like a business, not a hobby, when you get to elite.
And go through the videos at least before you start.
Yeah, yes. Go through all the videos. Treat it like you did with Pro. Go through all the videos end to end with a cup of tea and a snack, and then once you're done, go back and watch them again, because again you will pick up so much. So just make sure that you keep up to date, and when things change, don't get caught out. Just keep up to date with it. Keep watching the training. Don't neglect your Pro training either. Keep going back and having a quick watch of that every now and again, because again you'll miss stuff on that. And don't forget, Roger does a separate elite training, in the middle of the night for us. But the separate elite training is in the back office as well when it's recorded. So you've got access to that as well.
Excellent. Thank you. Susie, anything else?
I haven't seen any more questions, no. So if I have missed any, then I apologise. And please do head over to the forum and ask that particular question on there if I have missed any, and we'll definitely answer that for you. Yeah. But right now, no, I think we can wrap it up, Meryl.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to thank all the panel for giving us their time to help you tonight, and I hope you've got quite a few takeaways that will help you going forward. And don't forget, we're here to help. Use the forum. It is absolutely brilliant. And we'll hopefully maybe do another one in a month's time. So this is the busiest week of the year for Amazon. So I hope you are out there listing like mad. Max out your listings and take advantage. So thank you once again, and we'll see you again soon. Good night, everybody.